Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. This podcast features powerful hypnosis, so do not listen while driving or operating machinery. This recording is not suitable for those with epilepsy or severe mental health issues. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and in this episode of The Hypnotist, I was working with a client that had a belief that they were somehow bad or not good enough or unworthy, and it was a belief highly likely to have been created in their childhood. This is the key time that most people start to figure out their value and the rules of this game called life. And unfortunately, some parents aren't that good with unconditional love, and either they withhold love entirely or they have conditions, and it might be if they do what they're told, or if it might be if they meet some kind of explicit or implicit expectations. And that can make it very difficult to kind of feel a sense of value, because you're only valued and given attention and affection if you do certain things. And those neural pathways get built in childhood and kind of play out. And the client that I was working with was a very, very hard worker. And they had two different jobs and were, very, very dedicated. They had a belief that they were bad if they didn't be dependable, be reliable, exceed expectations. But a lot of those terms are very poorly defined and subjective, which makes that game a very unwinnable game. And in other areas of their life, like climbing and things involving technology, they didn't have that stress, that heaviness, that kind of worry, because these things were more predictable. So what you're going to hear in this session is an idea of two key things. One, there's a bit of inner child work and regression to go back and heal a unconventional, unuseful belief that isn't useful, and to update that as something else. But also to feel empowered to negotiate and build their life in a way that feels winnable, in a way that enables them to have a real sense of value. And it does use, for people familiar with NLP, you might be familiar with this pattern called the Dickens pattern. The Dickens pattern was an NLP pattern popularized by Tony Robbins, and effectively you imagine carrying a future trajectory if you keep the belief that is disempowering, and then let go and then see the impact of a much more useful belief. And quite often that does two things. It creates a pattern interrupt, but it's also creating future pacing of a more desirable future, which can lead to a tipping point where that becomes the dominant belief from that point onwards, particularly if you can go back to the point of inception when the belief was created and take all the credibility away as to the truth of that belief. I think anyone that feels unworthy, unlovable, or somehow not good enough or bad in some way will resonate with this. But obviously think back to your own childhood memories perhaps, or what it would be like in your future if this belief doesn't change, in order for you to maximize the value for you. So find a quiet, comfortable place where you won't be disturbed, relax, and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe in a calm, slow, relaxing breath of pure resourcefulness. And as you exhale, feel a wonderful feeling that tension is melting away. And feel that tension leave your body in that outward breath. That when you breathe in, you're breathing in a feeling of calm and relaxation. And as you exhale, just allow any tiny muscles, tendons, echoes of tension around your eyelids, forehead or jaw to just loosen, relax. Feel any tension dissolve and feel a wonderful feeling that anything that's getting in the way is starting to leave your body in that outward breath. Notice as you breathe in deeper, you feel more resourceful. And as you exhale, allow yourself to breathe out for longer. Maybe even twice as long as you normally breathe out for. Activating your diaphragm. So on the next inward breath, you breathe even more of that resourceful relaxation. The deeper you breathe, the more relaxed you become. And the more relaxed your body becomes, the more your imagination is igniting. And I want you to use the power of your imagination to imagine a smaller, steeper mountain. The kind of mountain that you don't need ropes and equipment. You can just run up this mountain. But imagine walking up, approaching, before the ascent. Imagine the outline, the shape of this mountain. Blue skies, and the sun low in the sky. Breathe in that fresh, clean air, and then feel a sense of thrill, exhilaration, and elation as you imagine running up this mountain, trusting your intuition that you will find balance, strong footing, using the power of momentum to create a wonderful feeling of motion, the thrill of the ascent. And then imagine you reach the top and experience pure elation. Feel a sense of exhilaration. Imagine feeling your heart beating fast, breathing rapidly. Maybe even imagine seeing a screen or watch of some kind showing your heart rate. But now you're at the top and no need to run. See that heart rate start to slow down. Feel your breathing start to normalize. And just imagine the comfiest chair at the top of this small, steep mountain. A comfy chair that looks over a desert into the sun which is now starting to set. And just imagine positioning your body there on that chair, seeing the sky change colours into hues of red, orange, pink, and getting a sense of ever decreasing tension and increasing feelings of pure relaxation. Breathing in resourcefulness, exhaling tension. And then imagine closing your eyes just as the sun sets, feeling a wonderful feeling of deep connection. I want you to get a sense that you've been holding on to something for a while that isn't yours. Most people don't choose their beliefs. They're conditioned into them, rewarded for believing certain things and punished or criticized for believing something else. I want you to get a sense that the human mind is like a very basic computer that still has lines of code from many years ago that just haven't been updated. And I wonder what beliefs you have that are now just obsolete code. And knowing what you now know, wouldn't it be good to spring clean that obsolete code and change them for things that are more true and more useful? But let's just check a particular belief is no longer useful. I want you to go back in time and imagine seeing you as a child where you were trained to believe that you were bad. You were bad if you weren't reliable, if you weren't dependable, if you let people down. But don't go back into that body of a child. Just imagine you're drifting back like a ghost, looking at your past, seeing you as a child, taught to believe that. Maybe you were yelled at, or worse, to make you feel bad if you weren't someone that could be relied on. And when you can recall that moment from the past, let me know by nodding your head. You didn't choose this belief. In the same way that you didn't choose the clothes you were wearing when you were 3 or 4 years old. They were given to you. But you don't wear the clothes that you used to wear when you were 3 or 4 years old. And maybe it's a good idea not to believe things you used to believe as a child just because those beliefs were given to you. I want you to imagine seeing that child perhaps in their bedroom. When they're on their own, enter the room. Tell them that you are them from the future by sharing a secret only they know. And when that child believes that you are them but from the future, let me know by nodding your head. I want you to give them a hug. Tell them they are loved. They are worthy. Tell them that they are good to the core. They are not good or bad depending on what happens or what they happen to do. They are good. And I want you to tell them that this belief came from parents that didn't know better, perhaps had an agenda, or had their own insecurities. I want you to imagine going back in time and giving that child the belief that you would have wanted to believe. Tell that child that they are capable and smart and hardworking. Tell them that they will exceed their wildest expectations. And tell them that they will feel wonderful whenever they go above and beyond, not because they have to. It just feels good to push their limits, to find out what they're capable of. And when that child believes it, that they can feel great and wonderful whenever they test their limits, whenever they do things in a reliable, dependable way, not because they have to, they just want to, that it feels good to do good things. And when they believe that, let me know by nodding your head. Say goodbye to that younger version of you, and let's go forward in the future. Your future, beyond the present, assuming a change does not take place. Imagine going forward 1 or 2 years from now, seeing you with that belief that you're a bad person if you're not reliable and dependable. See yourself feeling stressed, feeling on edge, feeling like you're wading through swamps and tar, and just feel that you're now shifting into that person. Feel what it would feel like a year from now to still believe that you're a bad person if you're not reliable and dependable. Feel like there's a sword of Damocles hanging over your head. Imagine feeling 1 year of shame that is not yours to feel. Notice where you feel that shame in your body. And when you feel it, let me know by nodding your head. And then skip forward 4 years. It's now 5 years in your future. Maybe you live in a different part of the world. But I want you to feel that dread, that stress, that heavy expectation, feelings of disappointment, shame that you've let people down. Imagine 5 years. 5 years of that weight. Imagine feeling what it's done to the quality of your life, what it's done to your work relationships, friendships, the people closest to you. What does it cost you emotionally? What does it cost you in your enthusiasm, your lust for life? What does it cost you physically or financially to feel this way? But let's go even further. Let's jump forward another 10 years. 10 years in the future, 15 years from your present. Look at yourself in the mirror, see your age, but more importantly, see the toll that this belief has taken on you. 15 years of shame, of self-criticism, of falling that you've let people down. 15 years of being a disappointment to yourself based on rules that were never winnable. 15 years. Feel the weight of that. And I want you to amplify it, make it worse. Think of the worst things that could happen as a result of holding on to this belief. If it feels like you're ready to make a change, that enough is enough, let me know by nodding your head. So I want you to imagine, just like certain animals, like a snake shed their skin, just imagine shedding this version of your future, going back as your essence, as your energy, but not this physical body, and go all the way back to the present and try a new belief on for size. A belief that you are fundamentally good and you feel great whenever you feel reliable, you feel dependable. Whenever you go the extra mile, that gives you a wonderful feeling of feeling proud. And just imagine jumping forward a year from now, a year of feeling great consistently, that whenever you live with high standards, you feel good. You notice what's right, not what's wrong. And notice how it encourages you to incrementally raise your standards. Not because you have to, it just feels good to become even better. I want you to get a sense of how good it would feel a year of living this way. And notice that it's in a different location, that good feeling. Amplify it and then jump forward 4 years in the future, 5 years from your present. Maybe in a different country, but feel a lightness in your energy. Feel that you've structured your life so you get to feel good more often. Notice those boundaries that were always there are now being used in a way to engineer your life to maximize fulfillment, maximize good feelings. Imagine 5 years of living this way. And then jump forward another 10 years, 15 years of self-love, approval, encouragement, growth and raised standards simply because it's fun for you. 15 years of not having that heaviness and that shame and that criticism. 15 years of believing what's useful and true rather than what is untrue and unuseful. And if this feels like a better future, giving you more choices, more options, a better quality of life, let me know by nodding your head. But this time, take that feeling back with you into your present. Imagine stepping into your physical body right now, no longer on the mountain, but where you are right now, and take that feeling that this is something you believe to be true, that you are good, and that you feel great whenever you're living life to your standards, whenever you're in alignment with your values, whenever you feel congruent with integrity, you feel great. And you live this way not because you have to, but because you want to. Feel that lightness. And then take that version of you, put yourself in that chair at the top of that mountain. And as you leave that chair at the top of the mountain, just becoming dusk, feel that as you walk down the mountain, there is a sense of lightness, that the future is somehow different now, that you have let go of obsolete code, that somehow it feels different, even when in situations or dynamics where variables are outside of your control. Perhaps it could even feel like working with different people. It's just a different complex problem to solve. Feel that obsolete code has now been replaced with great code that enriches the quality of your life. And take all of that back into the here and now, and take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Just wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes as shortly I count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. You will awaken feeling resourceful, confident, that you've let go of that belief that wasn't true anyway, and are now living with a belief that enriches your life rather than stresses it. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.
Thank you for listening to The Hypnotist with Adam Cox, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. To automatically receive the latest episodes, please subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, please share this episode with just one friend you think it could help. And if this episode helped you, please leave us a 5-star review.